Hi, I'm Rashida and I'll be explaining about our introduction. With the pursuit of Sustainable Development Goal (SDGs) and the urgent issue posed by climate change in Southeast Asia, the importance of renewable energy sources has grown significantly, particularly hydroelectric power. We are drawn to SDG 7, which is affordable and clean energy, because of its critical role in addressing the global energy issue. And our inquiry aims to enhance the impact of SDG 7 by evaluating whether hydroelectric power in Southeast Asia truly align with the goal objective. So the theme of our study is to evaluate the environmental impact of hydroelectric power generation in Southeast Asia and its alignment with claims of being a clean energy source. While the prevailing competitive environment in the realm of energy production in Southeast Asia is marked by a growing demand for electricity to support economic growth and urbanization, hydroelectric power competes with other energy sources such as fossil fuel and renewable energy like wind and solar. And the last one, our variable under investigation in this study encompass the environmental consequence of hydroelectric power generation, including habitat disruption, water quality impact, and greenhouse gas emission. We will also look at the socioeconomic factors, including how they may affect local communities and how vulnerable population might be displaced.
Hello, I am Denis Shazani and I'll present about the literature review that pinpoint two main points that will show why we'll choose this topic to do some researches. So first of all, countries like Laos and Cambodia are relying on hydropower. They see it as a sustainable solution to a rural poverty and a reliable source of income. But hydropower projects are predicted to cause a 40% decline in fish population, causing socio-economic and environmental risks. The Mekong River's ability to continue functioning as a life-sustaining ecosystem may be endangered due to hydropower dams that are harming fish populations and reducing soil fertility. So this is the proof from the past research that the Mekong River aquatic population is declining from years to years until now because of the dam's development. You may pause the video to look at the graph. So the second and the last point, hydropower is the most frequently mentioned for its adverse effect other than other renewable energy, proving that hydropower affects the environment the most. The graph below shows the total of the cited paper that talk about the effects of renewable energy to the environment. It shows that more than half of the cited paper are talking about the hydropower alone than other renewable energy. So this is a proof that hydropower affects the environment more than other renewable energy. That's all from me. Thank you.
Problem statement will lead us to our research question that will lead us also to our hypothesis to help our continue our experiment and our research. Our problem statement is hydroelectric power in South Asia so often is seen as clean energy face a growing security due to environmental and social impact, and article exam complexity of hydroelectric project in region, especially in South Asia, in our research. So we focus to clean energy alternative, environment and social impact in this experiment. This all. Next is research question. Research question will help us to identify variable that will need us to concern to continue our research problem. First, our research question is what is the environmental impact associated with hydroelectric power project in South Asia, including effect on river ecosystem, water quality, and carbon emission. Second is how do social and cultural factors play a role in acceptance resistant hydroelectric project among local community. This we have first environmental impact and social impact we must focus. Next, question is about to what extent the technological advancement and best practice in hydroelectric power generation and dam construction mitigate the environment and social challenges associated with this project in Southeast Asia. And last question, can alternative and complementary energy source and strategies considered in Southeast Asia countries reduce to environmental and social risks associated with hydroelectric power? So in these two questions, we will focus on technology to help environment and to overcome the hydroelectric power generation problem, and also to learn how the social challenge with this project, and also is there any alternative to counter to overcome this problem.
My name is Nur Kamarina, and I'm going to continue with our objectives of study. Our first objective is to study the environmental and societal impacts associated with hydroelectric power projects in Southeast Asia. Our second objective is to study the social and cultural factors that play a role in the acceptance or resistance to hydroelectric projects among local communities in Southeast Asia. And the third one is to study the extent of technological advancements in hydroelectric power generation in mitigating the environmental and social challenges associated with these projects in Southeast Asia. And our last objective is to explore alternative and complementary energy sources and strategies for Southeast Asian countries. Moving on to our hypothesis. So we have four hypotheses for our four research questions, and I will be only explaining the null hypothesis. So the first one is the increase in construction and operation of hydropower projects in Southeast Asia will not lead to any increase in environmental and societal problems. Our second hypothesis is the acceptance of hydroelectric projects does not depend on the positive social and cultural factors among local communities in Southeast Asia. And our third hypothesis is
advanced technological advancements will not mitigate the environmental and social effects in hydroelectric power generation and dam construction in Southeast Asia. And our last null hypothesis is more alternative and complementary energy sources and strategies in Southeast Asian countries will not mitigate the environmental and social risks associated with hydroelectric power.
Zachary, and I'll be presenting significance of study. So the study holds significant importance, addressing urgent environmental, social, and economic issues. Aimed at providing a true understanding of hydroelectric power sustainability, it critically evaluates its status, challenging common perceptions. The research delves into environmental, cultural, and economic impacts, raising awareness of Southeast Asia's clean energy initiatives. Furthermore, it seeks to enhance managerial responses through informed decision-making and serves as a resource for developing strategies to minimize negative impacts. Prioritizing environmental and social concerns often overlooked is crucial for fostering positive changes in the region. In essence, this research critically examines clean energy sources, advances scientific understanding, and addresses environmental and social concerns related to hydroelectric power.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Research methodology. Research methods combining literature review and survey. Literature review approach, systematic collection and analysis. Survey approach, gathering current option, sampling of respondents, diverse group of 100 respondents. Continue. Research methodology. Sample size and parameters based on research objectives and feasibility. Data collection, how the data is collected. Literature review collection, collection of information from existing sources. Survey collection, design and distribute structured questionnaires to our selected respondent. Thank you.
Moving on to our survey findings, 19.6 and 50% of respondents agree that hydroelectric power have bad effects on the river ecosystem and water quality. Meanwhile, 18.6% and 62.7% of respondents agree that hydroelectric power significantly reduces carbon emissions. This is the cross-tabulation between respondent vote on the positive and negative impacts of hydroelectric power with their opinions on the statement whether hydroelectric projects are important as a clean energy despite the environmental and social effects. We could see that the number of positive feedback is 135 votes, while the number of negative opinion is 101. Meanwhile, 55% and 21.6% respondent agree that technological advancement will mitigate the environmental and social impacts in hydroelectric projects. 40.2% and 30.4% respondents agree that by diversifying energy mix can reduce the environmental and social impacts of hydroelectric power. And 47.1% and 24.5% are also open to the idea of transitioning to alternative and complementary energy sources to reduce the reliance on hydroelectric power.
So, moving on to the interpretation of data. As we know, the study delves into the expanding role of hydroelectric power in Southeast Asia within the global pursuit of sustainable development goals and amidst escalating climate change concerns. Despite its clean energy status, questions arise about the environmental and societal impacts of hydroelectric projects. Respondents express significant concerns about negative effects on river ecosystems and water quality, yet simultaneously acknowledge the substantial carbon emission reduction potential of such projects. Local communities exhibit contrasting views, with some highlighting worries about fishing migration blockage and water temperature changes, while others recognize the positive aspects such as flood control and economic development. The majority express confidence in technological advancement and best practices to mitigate environmental and social impacts, advocating for the adoption of technologies like fish-friendly turbines. Additionally, respondents emphasize the importance of diversifying the energy mix in Southeast Asia, particularly favoring wind and solar power. Despite the support, challenges including funding, infrastructure, and technical expertise are identified as barriers to implementing alternative energy sources.
Our first finding is related with the research made by Prativi, which is in Cambodia, the hydropower dams change the water levels in the lowland area and enlarges the river ecosystem. It also is related to the statement where large hydroelectric power plants emit carbon dioxide and methane from decomposition of submerged biomass and worsen the water quality. And it is also related with the research by IEA, which is the TISTA-V, already published the result in mitigation of the carbon emission with the good practices. Our second finding can be related with the statement in model intelligence, which is the increasing demand for renewable energy cause an increase in investment in hydropower plants. It also can be related by the statement by Ramesh, where the hydropower development are more accepted in cities and downstreams compared to the local people who bear the direct environmental consequences. Our next findings also align with the research made by IEA, which is the TISTA-V hydropower uses measuring climatic variables, including precipitation, temperature, humidity with the help of technology of hydrometeorological stations. And it also stated that wind and solar energy can be used as a power system flexibility to support the shift to low carbon electricity technologies.
So, finally, moving on to the summary. This study scrutinizes hydroelectric power in Southeast Asia, questioning its environmental and societal impacts despite its clean energy reputation. Respondents expressed concerns about river ecosystems and water quality, but recognized its substantial role in carbon emission reduction. Local perspectives reveal a complex interplay of worries about fish migration and temperature changes alongside recognition of flood control and economic benefits. Confidence exists in technological solutions, contrasting with a neutral view on government policies. The majority support energy mix diversification, but highlights challenges, including funding and technical expertise. Shift to alternative sources. This study illuminates the nuanced landscape surrounding hydroelectric power, urging a balanced approach for a sustainable energy future in Southeast Asia. That's all from us. Thank you.